What's up, Amar? Can you guys hear me okay? Amar, can you hear me? Just say yeah, if the volume's good. Is it, it records, right? It automatically,
Yeah,
right?
it's automatic,
Okay.
yeah.
Or can someone write in the comments if you can hear me? I want to wait, make sure that,
Oh, yeah, sure.
because you know how the phone's standing here? I
Right.
want to make sure that the volume. Okay, cool. He said yeah.
Beautiful day out, huh?
Yeah.
Beautiful. How long have you been in the Bay Area, Jane?
Oh, a long time too.
Long?
20. At least 20, I
You
did.
grew up in China?
Yeah.
Where?
Now
Someplace-
everybody know.
Yeah. Someplace I never heard of?
No, everybody know.
Oh.
No. Wuhan.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your parents have citizenship here or just China?
Yeah, China.
Nothing's coming up. So what are we talking about? Life. Just life, exactly as it appears. And what seems to happen in this, there's an energy that arises. That energy says something needs to happen. I'm uncomfortable. This is not okay. I need to become. I need to go on a path and find what I'm looking for. That energy is illusory. That energy says, I'm here and everything else is out there. And as soon as there's an I'm here and everything is out there, there's a tension. And it's not really recognized by people, but that tension is uncomfortable. It's like a constant, here at least it felt like a throbbing, like it was like a neediness. It's like a need for movement, a need for the next second. And then when it gets what it wants, when it has a good experience, it's either right on to the next, or it wants to hold on to that, scared of losing it. It's just, it basically is trying to avoid death. That energy doesn't want to die. And it feels that it's real, that it's solid. It's not. There's no substance to it. No matter how strong it feels, no matter how tight it is, there is no substance to that energy. It's not a solid entity called you. There is no you. There is no person. There's no one inside the skin. Words are just happening, breathing's happening, colors, sounds, woof. It's just all happening. All on its own. There's no control, no controller. What's up, Dan? Yeah. No doer, no path, no solidity. It's empty. The appearance is empty. But that energy seems like when it arises here, in a very weird way, when something's here, something's in the table, something's in the chair, and that me energy just imbues everything. So everything is me. Looking at the hills somehow has something to do with me in an unexplainable way. I can't say it is. The trees, the hills, the street it's me. It sees itself in everything in a weird way. That substance seems to be everywhere. And yeah, that's an illusion. And it's not an illusion where, oh, the goal is to see through it. Wanting to see through it is that illusion. That illusion itself says, oh, so he's talking about there's an illusion. So let me find out that it's an illusion. That's not what's being said. Illusion, it's not there. There is no separate entity. There is no person. The struggle, that constant tension, the suffering, that is wholeness appearing as that. That is boundlessness appearing as a contracted me that is trying to find a way out. It's like a prison cell. It's like a straitjacket, like Jim says. It's just uncomfortable. And that uncomfortableness, there's nothing wrong with that. That is this love, this freedom appearing as that. Nothing needs to happen for that to go away. That is wholeness. Raymond, yes, sir. You too, bro.
So for that to be seen, what you're talking about seems to be a different energy, a different perspective, a different way to view what's happening.
So by seeing, I really don't like that word because it makes it seem like that energy feels like it will see it or it will become obvious to it. But what seems to happen is that it's the loss of that energy. It's the loss of the sense that things are seen. The sense that you are seeing,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the end of that. And then it's just seeing. So then it can't be said that it's seen. You will never be able to tell me, Zabi, I see what you're talking about.
That's the key
Yeah.
thing that seems to be the misunderstanding
Yeah.
that a lot of us have.
Yeah.
Is we think we will see
Exactly.
as you see,
Yeah.
a new perspective. You know,
Yeah.
suddenly the clouds part,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
sky is clear, and we're like, I see, Zabi, I see what you're talking about. I see this, rather than this condensed, contracted me. You know, when you said you look out at the hills or the trees or whatever, and it's you. For the separate self, it doesn't feel like it's me. It feels like, no, that's separate. The hills are a separate object. The tree, everything's separate. I'm here. That's there. Everything out here is separate and not me. But so I think what you're saying is the energy is different.
Yeah.
When that's seeing the way you say it, wouldn't call seeing. It's different than the person feeling separate sees the other objects.
Yeah.
Can you clarify that a little bit?
Yeah, it's like when that energy goes from seemingly from here, it somehow gets sucked out of the appearance. That energy of that contractedness that makes it seem solid is in the hill somehow too. This is a story. But when it dissolves, it's like the solid innards of it gets sucked out, and it's just exactly what it is. It's just seeing, and there's no longer, because when me feels real, that's real. I'm an object, that's an object.
Yes.
And that energy gets sucked out of it, and then it's just exactly what's seen. It's nothing special. It's just the end of the solidity to it. You know, you can't bring that about. You can't bring about the end of the solidity, and it just seems it's like a dying or a fading out.
Yeah. And that's another huge misunderstanding, you know, for most people in the background comes from spiritual practices or whatever. You think that you can somehow get it, know it, experience it, see it.
It all starts from the sense that you know you're sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
That basic, fundamental, I'm here. So now you can know anything else because you know that you're here. And that base is false. There's no ground.
But that base feels like safety. It feels like safety. because it feels like I know I'm here.
Yeah.
I know I'm in a room. I'm in Hayward. All that knowledge feels safe.
Yeah.
It's a separate self feeling. I'm safe because I'm oriented to what's happening, rather than disoriented and detached.
Safe in a prison cell.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it seems.
Yeah.
It feels like a prison cell, but it's safe enough.
Yeah.
You know, where I can keep my bearings and know what's going on around me. I can understand things, and I feel okay. From here, I can get better. Things can get better from here.
It's always better.
Yeah.
For me, because this is not okay. So always looking for better. That's just the function of it. So it's not bad. Like I know sometimes in these meetings it sounds like it's, we're trying to see through it or get rid of it, but that's not it. It's just being illuminated that energy, just basically there's a flashlight being shined on what's happening. And somehow, sometimes, something else, not something else, but something else can hear that, can resonate with that. And that's what pulls, bodies to the meeting. Because that energy does not want this. Does not, like, maybe it told itself a good story on why it's coming, but there's a pull, there's a resonance. It has nothing to do with you. It doesn't matter what the story is. It can be neurotic as fuck. It can be a drug addict. And this can be, I think Kenneth was just talking about that too.
Yeah.
But then, see, that's why it's misleading, like I just said. And it can be like, that makes it seem like,
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
That doesn't happen. Yeah.
And that is, you can hear that a million times and still not believe it. You still think, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I hear you, but I'll get this. If I pay attention passionately enough, long enough, it'll finally sink in and I'll get it. I'll go, I get it. That's not going to happen.
It can never land somewhere. It can't get that once it lands somewhere and it, let's say, gets something, you have to hold on to it. Yeah. Or, you're scared of losing it. Yeah. Or it's on to the next. There's never landing. There's never that's what it's looking for, actually. Yeah. It's not looking for what we're talking about.
No. It's looking for a landing.
Yeah.
A conclusion.
Yeah. And there is no conclusion. It's impossible. There'll never be a conclusion. It's impossible.
Like I want to say, the search is over. I'm done seeking. I want to say that, Then that's a me who's done seeking.
Yeah.
There's still a separation.
The comments are funny. What are you doing? He's at therapy. Why is he recording it? Why are you recording your therapy? Probably a good way for him to express, dog. I don't know. Gonna have to leave. Interesting nonetheless. Yeah, there's nothing here for the energy of being a person. If there's an energy of I'm inside the skin and I'm real and this is happening in time and space, this has nothing for that energy. So that energy can just get up and go, or sometimes there's a resonance to what's being said, and there's a draw that has nothing to do with the person. It's kind of interesting. I've never seen that. Seems like people who never even heard of the word non-duality show up. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Welcome. There is no non-duality. That's just the word, and it points to something. Non-duality means not two. There is no separation. There is no real me and you here and there. It's a dream.
So referring back to sitting on a chair, knowing you're sitting on a chair. Because often speakers will say, all there is what's happening.
Yeah.
Sitting on a chair, talking or looking at a computer screen.
Yeah.
It's said as if they know that's what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's if there's a
That's
sense
not what's
that
meant.
no, if there's a sense that you're sitting on a chair, it's instant. This body has to be feeling the same way. It can't. That's how it sees. You know, it sees and it can't fathom that there's no sense of that.
No.
There's just sitting on a
No.
chair. Yeah. But it's so simple. It's sitting on a chair. It's breathing, seeing. There's nothing. The sense of being in the skin, it's just, that's the specialness. What I'm talking about is not special. It's just so ordinary. But sitting on a chair and knowing you're sitting on a chair and knowing there's all these things happening, there's outside, and that's the specialness. So that's why it's a loss. There might be something there that's not happening here. It's not a finding or a gaining. It's an utter loss. And there's like a sense of freedom in that loss.
So
There's love.
That provokes the wanting of that.
Yeah, no. But anything that's said here, anything that
can be used as a cookie.
Yeah, all of it, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's, along with that, there's just this sense of waiting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, me is waiting
for something to happen or something to stop happening.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen today. Maybe tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Show me tomorrow.
I'll get back to you.
Tomorrow never comes.
It never arrives. It's always today.
Mm-hmm.
Always. It's always now, in a sense.
And for the person, now is like a thing. Like now it's like this is a thing.
A real thing.
Yeah. Like somehow this is a thing. And then I am in the now. I am in the thing. That's just an uncomfortable tension.
There's the now.
Yeah. That's just the tension in the body.
Or I can be not in the now. I want to get in the now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to be present.
How?
That's me being present. Two things.
How can you not be, for lack of better words, how can you not be in the now? Well, like, isn't it, whatever's happening, even a thought about later or being thoughts about before and reminiscing, blah, 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 blah. Isn't that now?
Yeah, it's just the difference in that, though, is you're lost. You're caught up in thoughts.
That's the dream that somebody's caught up.
I'm not present because I'm caught up in thoughts.
But there's no one thing that's caught up to something else. It's what can't be seen by that energy is that all those thoughts and blah, 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 there's not a caught upness in it. That's what's appearing. That's all of it. There's not two. There's not someone that's caught up in that. The caught upness feeling is a tightness in the body. And that tightness says, I'm caught up.
Yeah, what happens is, say you're reminiscing or ruminating about something. I'm sitting here, I'm not paying attention to you, I'm thinking about what happened yesterday. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, I wasn't present. I was so there's a feeling of, I have complete no knowledge of being present. And then suddenly I have knowledge of being present.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels like two separate things.
Yeah.
I wasn't here, now I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want to stay here.
Yeah.
But I'll probably fall back into my ruminating thinking in a minute.
Yeah.
And it's just endless push-pull.
Yeah, that's the function of it.
To remain mindful.
Exactly. No, yeah. That's the whole energy of it. That's the mechanism of it. And there's nothing, what's being illuminated is that there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's,
certainly very normal.
Yeah. Just the sense that it's happening to someone. That's the dream. Whatever you're describing, that's what seems to be happening. But just what's being said here is not happening to you. Mm-hmm. It's just what's appearing.
I mean, some people spend their whole lives trying to practice mindfulness to stay present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a constant effort that can never be let down.
Yeah.
And it just to maintain that constant presence,
mm-hmm.
always attention in the moment, seems impossible.
Yeah.
Some people are better at it. And they say over time, if you practice enough, you can stay present all the time. You know, so that's a goal. To be achieved and to work at. And you're always feeling, I'm not good enough because I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stay present. So something's wrong with me. I'm not disciplined enough, or I just don't have it in me. I'm not capable. That whole storyline.
It's an endless game.
Gets lived.
You're describing it perfectly. It's
endless
just that,
game.
it's an endless game. Yeah. And then there can be what happens is there can be a sensitivity to that. And that's what seems to draw certain bodies to what's being said. When there's a sensitivity to that mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You say the separation is okay. It doesn't need to end. But you went through some intense seeking to try to get this. Have you forgotten that? It seems Jim, you, etc. forget the seeking. In a sense, that's kind of true. Like the seeking is just poof. I can't even really remember how it was like. It's vaguely remember the sense of seeking, but as it was happening, it did feel really real and there was tremendous suffering, but I didn't get anything. Like, what's part of the question? Intense seeking to try to get this. Yeah, there was intense seeking to try to get this, but that seeking, it's not like you seek to get this and then finally you get it and then now you're somewhere where you got this. That doesn't happen. It's the loss of the seeking. And there's no path to that. There's no path to the end of seeking. And what was revealed in the end of it, that there never was a seeker. There never was a Zabi moving through time and space that was seeking this. It never happened. You can't be explained, but that's how it's revealed. That there is never a seeker going through time and space. And that this is not the result of anything. This is not the result of the last moment. This is new, fresh.
So you never question, like, where's this body coming from? No more?
No, the questioner died. So it's impossible for something like that to even come up, it seems like. That questioner is just not there. That's why it's a loss. The questions never got answered. I never got an answer. Just the question's not there. And it's just the relaxation to that. But it's not a game. The me is like a hopeful positivity, positive energy. What I'm talking about is the loss of that positivity, that charge of trying to get. And in a sense, you can say it's neutrality. It's being pointed to.
Or no more figure out things?
Yeah, I mean, figuring out like how to make a cake, stuff like that. But yeah, no more trying to get this or trying to figure this out. Like, how is this happening? Why is this happening? Why do I feel like this? I want to feel better. This is not okay. Like, that just died.
And all the existential questions.
Yeah, all of that.
How did this planet arrive? Was there a Big Bang? Is there a God?
Here there wasn't that much.
After death?
Here there wasn't that much of trying to figure this out. Honestly, now that I think about it, I wasn't really trying to get this that much. It was more of
relieve suffering.
Yeah, I wanted to. Why do I not feel okay? That just died. It was like the sense of moving through a timeline was the tension, was a suffering. That this is going somewhere. But this is just so, where's the need? Where is the need? There's no demand in this. It's not demanding anything from you. Nothing needs to happen. That demand is an illusion.
Yeah, it seems like life, there's an obligation.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a body, you're born, now you have an obligation to do something with it.
Yeah, and
do something about
it.
can't just sit there and do nothing or be nothing or not make effort for anything.
And the funny thing is, things still happen here. This still goes to work, and like nothing changed in that way.
Now that's the key point that people often fear.
Yeah.
If I lose that sense of self, I'm gonna lose my whole life, my family,
Oh, you will.
my job. But everything's gonna fall apart. I'll be homeless. I'll be on the street. I'll be starving.
Yeah.
I won't know how to put a sentence together. I won't know how to communicate.
But you're already not doing any of that. So what will change?
That's unbelievable. Completely unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I don't believe it. No, really, like, I don't believe it. It can't, it's impossible. That's a position.
There's always the questions. What will happen in my marriage, my relationships, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What to do? What am I gonna do? And all that dies and doing just happens.
Mm-hmm. What is the context of this convo? There is no context. That's the convo. There's no context to this. What's happening is not a part of the story. This is just immediate appearance, speaking, whatever's happening there is what's happening. But when the self falls away, you guys always say it don't need to end, like you forget the suffering. But that's really how it's revealed, though. Like honestly, like there's what's seen is that it didn't need to end. That seeking did not need to go. It wasn't a goal. It's not a goal. What's obvious is that his wholeness, his boundlessness appearing as the seeking. But when the seeker's trapped in seeking, when that energy is happening, it just lives in the, how could he forget about the seeking? Why is he saying that, it doesn't have to end? Now he gets to say that. Now that there's liberation, he gets to say that it didn't need to end, blah, 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 blah. But no, that's how it's revealed, and it's coming from I don't know. That's annoying. It is annoying. I remember listening to Jim, and it was very frustrating. Very frustrating. Yeah. And I remember you saying you used to listen to Jim in the damn shower in every opportunity. Oh yeah, 8 hours a day. And no matter what I was doing, the shower, getting ready for work, laying in bed, at work, driving, there's Jim on. But that doesn't have to happen. You don't have to watch Jim every day and then something will happen to you. It's just here, there was just the pull. It just seems like that some bodies can have an energetic pull to what's being said.
And that makes it seem like a process. That's your practice.
But what's seen is that there is no process. So how can there be a process to no process? This is not a process. The process is the illusion. The sense of being in a timeline with processes happening died. You can't really say anything about that. It doesn't make sense.
You still had to go through a process to get there. To get the no process, you had to go through a process.
Nah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think the seeking somehow opened up a portal for liberation. That's my theory, even though it's impossible. Something gave way to this through the seeking. That's how it felt here when there is a seeking energy. It felt like the suffering is helping me see this, or the suffering was key for the openness. Nothing's
catalyst.
Needed. Yeah, nothing's needed, but it did kind of seem that there was, to the same, like Izzy says, to the same extent that there was that seeking, that suffering energy, and then there, the same extent there was that openness to what's being talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
That seems to be a key. Yeah. The openness.
Yeah. But it's not yours. You can't do that.
Right. You can't make it happen.
Yeah.
You can't help yourself get more open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it seems the openness has to be there first.
if you're talking about it,
Prerequisite.
if you're in a story sense, but yeah, but it's you can't do it. So,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, that yeah.
It's, to the rational mind, you lived your life and all those processes and
Yeah.
experiences
It's a dream.
led to your openness.
Yeah.
The suffering, probably the most.
That collapse, that whole sense, there's no sense of any reality to that.
The story.
Yeah. That just dies.
Yeah. The thinking, rational, logical mind cannot deal with that.
There's an intense
It's
energy
not
here.
a step-by-step linear method.
Yeah, there's an intense energy here when the fading away or the dying was happening. It was like, oh yeah, all of this happened when I was 17 and 18 and doing this and the suffering of this. That got me to this point where that's why I'm listening to the message now. That's why, because of everything that happened, now there's an openness.
That's not it.
Because it was all this.
But you can't say, how do you know there wasn't kind of a leading up to this?
Oh, because there's no leading.
There's no time?
Yeah, there's no time.
There's no time for that to happen.
Yeah.
There's no way to understand it at all. No way to understand
I don't understand it, but when you said it, I was like,
yeah, I saw that.
That's not, I don't get it, bro.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of, these meetings kind of shine that, kind of show that I don't know that there's no time. But when it's said,
it's like a total paradox.
Yeah.
Total paradox.
I remember when Jim said, he was like, there isn't, in one of the meetings, he was like, something about time, or there isn't enough time for that. And he started laughing, and then one of the ladies in the audience was like, why are you laughing?
Yeah.
How is that funny to you? That's funny.
Somehow I'll get it.
Oh, Eddie's on here. Hi, Eddie.
Somehow I can think my way through this.
So Eddie said, it's too confronting. I hated that message. Couldn't watch it at all. It's very frightening to hear that you don't exist. Oh, yeah. It's horrible. It's probably the worst thing you can hear.
And look at you. You're fully alive and safe, and nothing harmful is seeming to happen to you. That's amazing. Because it seems totally dangerous, totally life-threatening.
It seems like against the humanity.
Yes, very much. The opposite. It's like Izzy would say, everything's backwards, inside out.
Yeah.
The normal way of viewing life is totally backwards.
Yeah, it is.
Inside out.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Well, how do I fix that?
Me's always trying to fix.
Exactly. Something has to be done about it. If I don't do it, who will?
And let's see. Dan was like, I'm going to listen to Jim for 8 hours a day from now on.
Exactly. That's what I would do. After listening to this, I would say, oh, I'm going to listen to Jim for 8 hours a day, minimum. Maybe 9 hours a day. I'm going to do what you want up. 10 hours a day. How's that? Get there faster.
Oh, man. Hello, Eddie. And Dan said, during the seeking, do you remember at any point thinking, this won't happen for me? I'm not going to be liberated? No, here the story was, I am going to be liberated. There's a positivity to it because of all that suffering. And now I'm listening to this, and there's a pool. I'm going to be liberated, and I'm going to be a speaker, and that just
not only
collapsed.
you're gonna be liberated, you're gonna liberate everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm going to talk in front of all these people. That sense of being a speaker, that's just not there. So no one gets to enjoy. I think Izzy said that no one gets to enjoy the. I wanted to be a speaker and people to watch
and
me.
that's very dissatisfying to hear that.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Just,
Because I want to enjoy it when I get there. And that's the whole point. If I can't enjoy it, what's the whole point? It's just.
Eddie said, couldn't listen more than 5 minutes. Husband was sending watch this, watch that, but still couldn't until it somehow turned to music that don't need and can't be understood. Yeah, yeah. It's just,
Music.
yeah. And there was no choice in someone being repelled and turning it off, or just,
Yeah.
there's no choice in that.
Right.
It's just what seems to happen.
No, I decided to turn it off.
Yeah.
I decided.
Eddie, I love that. There's no point.
Man, I wish there was people here sharing this room with. I like this room, this open room with the big windows and all the activity on the streets below. It makes you. It gives you a certain aura to this. I know, spiritual. A certain aura to being here. You know, like here we are talking about nothing. You know, in a sense, death, and all this life is happening right outside the window.
Nothing is everything.
And none of it's actually happening in the sense that we think it's happening.
It's not happening at all in the sense that me thinks it's happening.
Yeah, it's just an appearance.
Yeah. It's not real, and it's not real. You can't get it. You can't put a nail in it.
No.
It's aliveness. In a sense, when that energy was leaving, it's a story, everything seemed more real in a sense. It was like things were seen for the first time. It was, everything was just so alive. And then, but when there was seeking happening, that seeking wanted to see things as not real. And in a funny way, that made things more real for itself.
Yeah.
It's a grasping energy. Sabi, you need to stream more, bro. You vanish and don't upload. I feel like I resonate with you the most. Right on, man. Yeah, I've been saying that I want to do Zooms and post videos, but it doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's fun. It is fun.
It's amazing that you can talk about it at all.
Can never be said.
Because I can't talk to people about this.
Oh, yeah,
If
yeah.
I try to, I feel like an utter fool. And they look at me like I'm an utter fool.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you're able to speak on it instant, in the immediacy of it.
Yeah.
It's just the immediacy. There's no thought, there's no knowledge you're referring to, no recollections you're referring to. It's just immediate
Just comes out.
communication,
Yeah.
spontaneously happening.
Yeah, there's a love with that. Because there's like after something's said, it's like, oh. Like, wow, where'd that come from? Nothing.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch you. Sometimes you'll say something, or something will come out of your mouth that surprises you.
Yeah, yeah.
As if you heard it from someone else. As it happened.
Yeah, because it doesn't come from knowing, like you
It's
said.
like you're channeling it.
No, because it does, like you said, it doesn't come from knowledge.
Yeah.
So it's fresh. It's just.
Are you a channel for some disembodied entity?
When I was listening to Jim, right, like all the time when there was intense seeking, there was a sense here like the speakers who were talking about this, they are living in this non-dual way. And then there was like a disappointment when talking to Jim in a sense and seeing that he's just normal. He doesn't talk like he does in the meetings. It's just, and there was like there was a disappointment with that because I felt like there was something special with the speakers. And then I wanted to, like you said, like talking to people about it. I don't talk to no one about this in quote unquote daily life. It never comes up. But because just what we're talking about is daily life. It's not a new non-dual state. We're talking about this. This is the wonder. Going to work or whatever, cleaning the house, whatever you're doing, brushing your teeth. That's what's being talked about.
Amazing.
Yeah. Right on, Dan. You can't, Eric said you can't talk about this, and yet talking is already this. Yes. Every word is this. Saying this isn't this is this. Saying fuck this shit, turning off the live stream is this. It's energy appearing as that. There's only energy. There's nothing behind the eyes seeing. Like, where does seeing end? Where does it start? Can people close to you see a difference in you? I get that asked a lot. I mean, some people said that I seem more relaxed, and for the most part, I really wanted, like Zabi really wanted, everyone to see something different. Oh, I can't wait for this to happen so there can be a change and everybody can be like, whoa, Zabi's this like non-dual way now. That doesn't happen. So in a sense, really there's, I guess in the story you can say there's some things don't happen like they used to. But yeah, it doesn't happen. It's just, I hesitate to say anything's different because we're talking about what's happening. In a sense, it's kind of misleading to start talking about things changing.
Well, like, say if extreme anxiety no longer occurs or no longer seems to happen, it seemed like there would be, I no longer anxious, be enjoyed and appreciated.
See, that doesn't happen because there's the one, like how you're describing it, like there's something here that would know that that's not happening. Mm-hmm. So it's the end of that knower. So no one is there to be relieved from the suffering claw of the me.
Sucks.
Yeah, because it's death.
Sucks. You can't be there to be grateful and appreciative of. I no longer suffer from OCD or panic attacks.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. The OCD was wanting to know that I don't suffer from OCD. That's more OCD.
Yeah.
And it wanted to land in a position where I am an OCD-less person walking around, and it doesn't happen to me. You don't know what you lost, or you haven't lost it. Full-on aliveness, washing dishes, cleaning cat shit, all of it. Yeah, it's all it. That's the wonder. But for no one, it's
so. Let's go there about mundane activities, doing chores around the house, cleaning, vacuuming, do the mundane stuff that most of us just don't really like doing. What's that like for you?
Here it was intense though. Like just making the bed. This is a story, right? But just making my bed, it was like I couldn't. When is this gonna? This is so uncomfortable making the bed. It was like a desperate need for this to be hurry up and get it over with.
Right.
That just doesn't seem to happen anymore. But now saying that makes it seem like I know that, and I'm somehow living or happy with that pain not happening anymore. But it doesn't come up. You just brought it up. You said you asked something.
Right.
And then now
during
there's
the
a
actual
response.
Activity.
Yeah.
That's not even.
Yeah. That's the freedom. See, that's the freedom. Me thinks that it would have to know that it's not happening. That the suffering's not happening.
Oh, I'm no longer feeling this tension.
Yeah. That doesn't happen. The freedom is the end of that. And you can't have that.
Because like I'll be doing a chore, and then during the chore, I'm not liking the activity, and I'm always thinking, what I got to do next. The next chore after this, I got to go wash the windows, and then I got to go clean the car. There's always the next, and it's just that dread.
Yeah.
And it's like, how am I going to get through this day? Doing all this mundane crap I hate doing.
Yeah. Because it's real. It feels solid. Yeah. And there's just the unease with that. There's a longing for the unreality of everything.
And I can't wait till this is over so I can, smoke a cigarette or have a beer, just relax, kick back.
Yeah. See, I still would want to smoke a cigarette in a little bit, but it's just, I know what you're talking about, that
It's
energy
a
of
never-ending seeking of next.
Yeah, that doesn't
What's
happen
next,
anymore.
next,
Yeah.
next. It's never okay with what's happening
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. It can't be. It's an energy that's moving, seemingly. It's always like on the go. It's like a charge. And that charge is just, most people seem not to even care. Most bodies are just going perfectly fine, and they're like, that's life. That's life. You know, we're doing. But then some bodies just seem to be very sensitive to that. Here, there was extreme sensitivity to just being here, the sense of being here.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, I'll be standing on the street smoking a cigarette, I remember it was pretty intense, like a body walking by me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't explain it, but it was like
I know exactly how you feel.
yeah. And it was then it was like, that same energy also was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I doing that?
Exactly.
And then therapy.
I frequently have that feeling. And
Yeah.
it's just like, why is this happening?
Mhm.
Why am I feeling so much discomfort just because a person's walking by?
Yeah.
Something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
That needs to change and be fixed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then somehow that energy is loved.
Is loved.
It's a story, but in that love, all embracing.
But you can't do that.
You can't do that.
I can't just say,
Yeah.
let me love this.
Yeah.
Let me love myself. Let me love other people. Let me love this mundane activity.
Boundlessness will swallow you up.
Feeling. Let me love this horrible feeling. You can't do that.
You can't do that. But it could be loved. It will have nothing to do with you. It will swallow you, and you'll just die.
Yeah, that's the part. It's totally impossible. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Because there isn't one.
Martians would say that.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with you. So many of his videos, he would say that. The person would be going on and on.
I would love it.
You're not hearing me. This has nothing to do with you.
I remember that would hit.
That.
I would break down
Oh,
crying.
yeah.
I would be on the Bay Bridge driving like, oh, yeah. Tony, I love you. Say it again. It felt like it had something to do with Tony.
Yeah, he's that likable, cuddly kind of character, but he also seems like he's a pit bull too.
Fierce.
A likable, cuddly pit bull. It might bite your head off, but you just want to give it a big hug.
Yeah. I was actually hugging a pit bull the other day. Very sweet, actually. Anyways, let's see. It's free and chaotic, yet I haven't seen any of the speakers do something crazy and out of character. I'm just waiting for it. It's the free and chaotic is this. It's sitting in a chair and talking and seeing. That's the chaotic. It's not what me thinks is chaotic as I'm gonna fucking tear shit up right now. Yeah. That's me's chaos.
Violence.
Yeah. Not that chaos. That there's no ground, there's no center, it's just whoosh, everything. That's chaos. Appearing order, seemingly. Someone met me and said, after was disappointed, not glowing, yeah, too ordinary. Me wants something special to me, but this is what me? There is none. Oh man, it used to be like that here too. When I would like me wants specialness in the speaker, and then it gets disappointed when it's just ordinariness.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Saying me, we're talking about me. There is no me. There's an energy that arises, seemingly, and it calls itself me. It feels like a positioned center that's moving through time and space. That's an illusion. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's empty. Appearance. Appearing contracted. That is love. That is me is boundlessness. That in the story, here's the story. That was kind of scary here when it was becoming obvious that there's not a me that's gonna go and then there will be something left, like the natural reality after me goes. When it started to become clear, and energetically clear, that me, the sense of me, is boundlessness, and the trying to avoid it and run away is boundlessness. So it wasn't me that was scared and then there was something else waiting for me. It was boundlessness that was scared. And then there was no separation. And it was just, can't describe it, but there's not a actual me that's, let's say, terrified of this or that. And that is boundlessness. So it doesn't change, it doesn't go, it becomes energetically clear that is wholeness, that is boundlessness, and then somehow the intense fierceness of it just can neutralize. Now that's a story.
That's amazing to hear that. All that discomfort and nasty feelings is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not separate from it. It doesn't need to change or go away for something to happen.
Yeah.
It is actually it.
Yeah.
Itself. Appearing as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just mind blowing.
Unconditional love. Loving what you don't like. That need is loved. A lot less patience for shit. I've got worse. Oh yeah. That can seem to happen. Here, I remember the neuroticism and the seeking got 10 times, 100 times worse after hearing this for the first time. Somehow I can abstract an idea of me not being here, and it seems pretty crazy, like insane. It's all I got, bro. Yeah, I know. For me, that's all me got is me. It just plays around, and
That's all it can do.
in its bubble. Yeah. And the idea of no me is crazy, as an idea. But what we're talking about is naturalness. We're talking about the end of that entity that's trying to figure out no me, or what's no me like. How would I be living when there's no me? The loss of that, then it's just simplicity. It's just sitting in a chair, seeing. The seeing, I remember, seemed to be contracted here. I would have called it contracted seeing. It was painful to see because me was trying to attach itself to everything it was seeing, in a sense. That's what I kind of meant by like everything is me.
Okay.
I guess. So.
Yeah, because that's confusing when you said that, because that's like oneness.
Yeah.
It seems like you're talking about oneness.
Yeah, oh, no,
I look
no.
at the mountains and they're me.
Oh, no. Oh, no, not like that. Yeah, I wasn't saying.
Oneness.
Yeah.
I'm everything. That tree is me. That other person is me. It's not like, that's not what you're saying. No.
Yeah.
You're saying it in the sense of that energetic contraction projects onto everything.
Yeah. And then also that energetic solidity, that's me, is also in everything also.
It's in everything.
Yeah, so that's the solidity of everything. But in a sense, even though that's not me, but it's still kind of like me, it's just all. Even in the story of separation, the dream of separation, there is no separation. Because it's just everything that's happening is your, like even in the sense of being separate, what you see, it's still, all you have is your experience in the dream. There's no separation in that either, but it feels separate. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's amazing that whatever this is can even feel separate. If it's not, it never was, never could be, but yet it can feel so separate.
It's like how? I remember being like,
how? No, that just boggles my mind.
Yeah.
How can it? Everything seems so dualistic. How? If it's not.
Yeah.
What a great grand play.
Like Jim said, it's
Grand
like
illusion.
it's more, in a way, it's more surprising that energy lasts
Exactly.
or stay
Yeah.
than it going. It going seems more natural and more like, why not?
If that's
Like,
the ultimate reality, the truth is
Yeah.
no separation.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does separation persist?
It's just wholeness playing the game.
It does a good job. It plays very well. Very convincing.
To itself.
Yeah.
But earlier you mentioned there's no center, but
Mhm.
if we use this room as an example,
Mhm.
but there's a center in this room, though.
Yeah, seemingly, like right there. Yeah. But just the sense of there really being a real center in the room comes from the sense that what you just said came from your knowledge and that you know what you just said. That's the illusory knowing. It's the sense that there's a position where that knowing comes out of. So that's your center. And then I can know another center because I'm here, so I can know that that's a center in this room. So I still know that there's a center there and, look at maps and do all of that stuff. But the realness, the solidity of it being an actual center is gone. Yeah. Because there isn't really a center. Me lives in really. Like it really, like it is. It can't see that it is not. I don't know if that distracted. And if it goes when you sleep, why does it come back when you wake up? I don't know. It's really not there. So it never really comes back, but it can be a sense of it. And it's not a problem. Me's not a problem. It can feel like it to itself. But there is no issue. Me needs problems. Me is problem. Me rather suffer than to not be. When that became obvious, it was like, oh, fuck.
And that's why it's overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's too empty.
Yeah.
There's no juice in it. No energetic aliveness. The separation seems to bring everything solid and real.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I dwell in emptiness? You can't.
You won't be in
But
emptiness.
it would not even be looked at.
Yeah.
If it's even seen or looked at, it would be like rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just nothing in it.
Yeah, there's nothing in it for you.
Which explains why it's overlooked.
Yeah. Me wants something. But that's the mechanism, like that's what it does. There's nothing wrong with that. It just wants more, wants to get, wants to continue. And in that, it rather suffer than to hear what's being said here. Because hearing what's said here is the end of it.
Yeah. Literally death.
Mm-hmm.
Total neutrality.
Yeah.
0.
The end of the ground. There is no ground. There's no foundation. There's no timeline. Freedom is the end of the need to be free.
I would just thought about if you have any suggestion and
There's your answer. I mean, that is ultimate freedom.
Yeah. Completely.
Complete freedom. It's freedom from freedom.
Yes. Yeah. Freedom from freedom.
And you can't have it.
Can't have it. That's all there is.
Swimming around in it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, in a sense, no, really.
Swimming around in total freedom. Where is it?
It's like a fish in water
Drowning.
asking where's water.
Yeah. Drowning in it.
Drenched.
You're sitting in prison, drowning in freedom. Unbelievable.
Graham, what's up, Graham? Haha, it's hard to get a suggestion from no one there. Yeah. Is the desire for it different to longing for it? I would say so. I would say like there's longing and then there's wanting. And there seems to be a difference to that. Like the longing has a different like quality to it. And then wanting is just need. It's just need. It's more like, okay, what's in it for me? I want this freedom. I want to get it. That's wanting. But then there can be a deep, deep longing for freedom, and that's indescribable. That's this. That's the resonance that we're talking about.
And that is not wanted.
Yeah, that's not wanted.
You don't want this. I don't want this with the real this.
How can you have it? Yeah.
Can't have it.
How can you have everything? You can't. What are you gonna do with everything? You only want something that you can do something.
Exactly.
Play around with it. Know it, and then put it in your little mailbox, and then go on to the next thing. Jason. Oh, Jason says hi. Jason says hi.
Hey, Jason.
No questions, just hello.
Howdy.
Howdy, partner.
It's like God was floating around in space, being everything as God is, and got bored and says, this is boring, this is no fun. I need to create a world where I can have something. I can't have something if I am everything. So it created this sense of separation and dualism. Now I can have things. I don't know, it's a total story. That's what it seems like. Isn't that amazing? We think we can acquire things and have things, and we already are everything. It's totally ridiculous.
Having things just comes from knowing. It's just that separation is knowing. Knowing is me. Me is knowing. It's just that sense of knowing that gives solidity to everything. Like you don't like your car. You said, oh, you have a car. That real lived sense that you have a car and you possess a car, that's knowing you have a car. So that's the realness of it, is your knowing of.
And if I don't know it, I can't enjoy it. I can't appreciate it.
See, what's being illuminated is that it's not needed. Being appreciated, whatever, all of that, you are not needed for nothing. This is happening without you.
How dare you? Completely useless. Unnecessary.
Life doesn't need you to life. Being, there's just being.
What
all
would
there
life
is.
be without me? No me, no life.
Yeah.
Just aliveness.
Just aliveness, being, spontaneity, immediacy. That's death. Immediacy is death.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I seem to get close to this, and the story seemed to, it's just utter fear and no.
The close to this seems to be a dying into this, with a little sense of me still there, and then a loss seeming to happen,
Yes.
and then me would call that close to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a story.
Yeah.
It's a total story.
Yeah.
That's what seems to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Terrifying.
There's no handholds anyway.
It's like touching a hot stove.
Is me needed?
This seems like it's...
Is me needed for the hand to get off the hot stove? Or does the hand just get off the hot stove?
Your body just
Just does it. Like, everything else.
Yeah. It just can't be imagined.
It's an illusory overlay that claims to be the doer, which can have seeming effects in the appearance.
Totally convincing.
Yeah.
If this illusory overlay is in the center of in the room, then it's probably more obvious.
What do you mean, like if it's?
Because right now the illusory overlay seems like with the body,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
then you feel this is I'm controlling.
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
legs, my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if it's between three of us, then it's more obvious, right? For this illusory to dissolve.
Yeah, but the illusion, that is the, I know what you mean. It's just that is the contraction, that is the me, that sense that you're doing it.
Right. I mean, the contraction, if it's somewhere else, then maybe on the tree or something.
Contraction in space.
Yeah.
Can you talk about energy? Can you sense energy of people and stuff like that, or is everything neutral? I mean, anything can appear. I mean, there's certain people that say they sense certain things in certain bodies and all that. You know, it's not about what changes or what happens. It's about that there is this, what's happening is all of it. No matter what's appearing is the whole of it. Whatever thought, whatever feeling, there's no need to do anything with it. There's no need to figure it out.
Me is out of a job.
Yeah. But energy, everything's energy. All there is energy.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I'm just thinking, maybe the chair have a thinking they exist too. Who knows? Right? Because this could be contracted there.
The chair would have churches.
Yeah. It could be, you know, just everywhere in the universe. That's, I don't know, but I'm sometimes thinking.
Every atom is conscious.
Yeah, right? It could be.
No, the chair is aliveness chairing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the hands, aliveness, handing.
But does it say ouch? A heavy person sits on it.
Because in a lot of fairy tale, they say that the tree, right? They are they're fairies too, right? So that means it could be anything.
Well, there are a lot of earth-based religions and spiritual beliefs.
Exactly.
They believe
Hi,
every
Christine.
rock,
Right.
every speck of dust, every sand, grain of sand is conscious.
Yeah,
Has a spirit.
yeah, that's what I mean.
I'll just say aliveness. It's just all
Aliveness.
about aliveness. Yeah.
And that's different
Mm-hmm.
than have a
Because I think,
separate
because I think what they're talking about is like the
a separate
yeah,
consciousness,
yeah.
like a soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no substance. But even science is pointing to this, but it's just that you can't do anything with that information. Like it's whatever they discovered that is empty, or I don't know anything about science, but basically it points to this. But you just can't do anything with that information. It's useless.
Yeah, it's not useful.
Yeah, exactly.
To a scientist, you're out of a job.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point.
Yeah. For a scientist to really see
you
this,
just
it would have to be
calculate
the end of the
yourself out a job.
scientist. Yeah.
You can't ever get to that point. You'd be like, oh, no, not that.
Mm-hmm.
This goes in another direction.
No direction.
That's why I'll never be respected and appreciated in science.
Yeah. Yeah. The simplicity of this is just not okay for that energy. Because it's a charge, it's a positivity. And then it feels that positivity energy feels like what's being talked about is going to be in that positivity charged reality. But it's the loss of that. It's like the collapse of that. I remember feeling like, oh, it's going to be like, oh my God, wow. But it's more like fucking getting stabbed 100 times. It's like the opposite of.
Well, who the hell would want that?
That's just a story, but yeah.
It's different for everybody, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people,
Yeah.
it is a wow.
Yeah.
I've heard.
I would call it a quiet. It is wow. No, it's wow. Yeah, but it's not wow. It's misleading to say wow because it just kind of seems like, for the person, wow is like it wants to see the wow. But it is a wow. But I would say a quiet wow. But it's like oh.
Or it's talked about as getting the cosmic joke.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a joke. And it would be sad if it was really happening, but it's not happening to anybody.
That's hard to imagine with all the horror going on in the world, you know, that none of it's real. Wars and violence and crime.
It seems to be. It's not unreal.
Yeah. It's all very heavy.
Yeah, the heaviness just comes from me. Yeah. That those things are really happening. What it can't get is just nothing appearing as that. And I don't get that. But talking about war is just talking about war. It just doesn't need to be God. Or like, why is it happening, and this and that whole story with it.
And think about the suffering. So many people suffer, you know, losing their family members, losing body parts.
I mean, stuff like that seems to happen, but that energy of the person, it projects itself into that. And it's like, oh, it's so horrible. And it has like the solidity to it. But that's just not happening. It can't be described. It's not solid. I'm gonna do a quick bathroom break. 2 minutes, I'll be right back. You guys wanna talk YouTube entertainment?
That's not my job.
I think Ben can start.
Huh?
Ben can.
No, that's not my job, man. They don't pay me the big bucks. I'm gonna use the restroom myself.
I'm back. Ugh. Do you still have a drink or chase girls now and then? So it can appear to be different for everybody, but here the drinking stopped. But that's not, you can't say that's like a cause and effect type of thing. But if you want a story, it seemed like this drinking got worse when this was first heard. Somehow it felt like that energy of being, that centered energy, the me was looking for survival, and it wanted to become more neurotic. This is a complete story. It wanted to become more neurotic to survive, and things got more intense, and then it got worse, and then somehow that need died. So not as a positivity where I don't drink no more because, you know, it's as a negative. It's backwards. It's back to front from what me thinks. There was no there's no sense that I am not a drinker now, or but it just doesn't seem to happen. And when there's no longer like a need like for it to stop, like when it doesn't matter if it's happening or not happening, and then it just seemed to stop. When it didn't matter if it continued. When it didn't matter if drinking still continues or not, that's when drinking stopped. That's a story, and then chasing girls. Oh, I mean, and the sense that the way it used to have a charge, it doesn't happen like that. There's no chasing like that, but talking to girls can still happen, but it's just not that need. Like I need her. There was an intense energy. Like she's gonna fulfill me. Like I'm going after her. Like there was a real discomfort with that because it was somewhere it was obvious that that's not gonna bring what I'm looking for. The longing. You knew that wasn't touching the longing. There's a recognition somewhere that getting another girl, it's not going to touch the core longing of, yeah. It's a story. But getting a drink can happen. Who knows? There's no rules.
And that's what's scary also. The idea that if I'm not there, what's going to keep things in line? What's going to keep me from just totally falling apart and becoming a raging alcoholic?
It's already falling apart. There is no control. The sense of me is that it's holding things together, that it's keeping things in order. That's a dream. It's just tension. It's tension that things, or not things, it's tension that feels that it has a grip on things. That it's because of it that things are, that tension says, because of me, I chose to come here, I got in the car and I drove, that's why I'm here. That's not true. It's not true.
Well, that all requires time, too.
Yeah. You didn't think yesterday that you were going to come here today. It's just what seemed to happen.
Yeah, there's no way to understand that.
Yeah, impossible. It's the owner of the thinking. It's like that. It's an owning energy that makes things seem real. You have to be making decisions because the actions you take are conditioned by the character. Yeah, decisions happen. Yeah, so that's why decisions can appear, but there's just no one making them. There's no decider. There's nothing in here, a person that chooses this or that, but decisions appear. And that's unfathomable. You can't get that, but that's what seems to happen.
It convincingly seems like you did that. You made the decision.
It's the tension that feels
you went
like
over
that.
the pros and cons and the comparisons of what choices you could make, and then you made a decision.
So the pros and cons and all of that can appear. And then there can be I'm going to do that.
The whole process of decision making.
Yeah, but there's just no one doing that.
Resulting in a conclusion. Seems all to be real.
Yeah, it's the tension that makes it seem real. But there could be pros and cons, and then I will do this because it sounds better than that, and then that action can happen. There's no one in the center of doing that. It's just what appears. But yeah, conditioned. Yeah, there seems to be conditioning here. Yeah, for sure. That's why it's different for everybody. That's why you can't say how it's like or how it's not like. It's like this. Exactly what's happening. Yeah. I wonder when I get phone calls, is it disrupting the thing or not? Neek, what's up, man? How you doing? Hiya. The emptiness of this is just not okay for me.
Nope.
But the longing, that longing is for this.
No, the emptiness is devastating.
Yeah.
You go through life with this uncomfortable contraction feeling of something's wrong, needs to change, but yet the emptiness feels also very uncomfortable. It's like there's no win.
It's uncomfortable for me, for that
me.
Energy, yeah.
For me, the emptiness is, yeah.
But it's home. It's home. Like, it's home. This is home. Like, nothing's out of place. This is home. This is perfection. This is paradise. What's happening? Exactly as it is. Not a perfection for me, for the energy of being somebody. Because for that energy, it's when things happen in a certain type of way, for it to be perfect for me. The perfection is that nothing is out of place, that there could be no other, no possibility of anything else. That's the perfection. That is just exactly what's happening. It's just so, There's no need to change anything anymore. Changing can appear, but there's that need of that person, that's something needs to be. It doesn't know what needs to be different. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it just that energy just something needs to change.
Yeah.
That's what that energy says. Something's not right. I'm not okay.
Seeking a solution, a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
In this, there's no resolution.
No.
Nothing's ever completely resolved.
Yeah.
They're solved. Finished.
Yeah.
Concluded. Very uncomfortable for me.
Oh yeah. For me, yeah. For that energy, that's horrible. But in a sense, these meetings are like permission. Because for that energy, all it's saying is no, no. And here, there's like a reflection in a sense. You know, it's a story, but it's like permission. That's why, at least here, why I showed up to meetings all the time. There seemed to be like a...
I mean, it's okay to let go?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. It's like, yeah, exactly. But not for me, you know, but...
Yeah.
Something else hears it, like...
Well, if I don't let go, who's gonna let go?
Me can never let go. Me is holding.
Me gets let go.
Yeah.
Life.
Life lets
Life
go.
lets go of me.
Life kills me.
When's it gonna happen? It's not.
Yeah.
It's already done.
What meditation practice worked best for you to reach the state of no self? So what's being spoken about is not a state. What's being illuminated that there is no self, that there is no one already. So right now, there's a phone screen or a TV screen, there's words, there's breathing, there's colors, there's sound, there's no one in that. That cannot be reached. Trying to reach no self is a dream. And here, meditation, I tried to meditate one day. I think I sat for 15 seconds and ran.
One day.
This body was too neurotic to meditate. But meditating doesn't lead to this. There's nothing wrong with meditation. Meditation's fine. It can calm the body and all that. But what's being talked about here has nothing to do with meditation. But in a sense, you can also say that everything is meditation. Oh, shit.
So many spiritual practices focus on meditation. You know, you got to put in the hours. You know, you'll finally get there. It's a goal.
It's a prison cell.
Yeah.
Is karma real in the story? That energy exchange? I don't know. I don't know much about karma, but anything can appear. Karma can appear. There's no rules to what appears. But I really don't know anything about karma. I thought karma meant what goes around comes around, and then I hear spiritual people say something else about karma, so I have no idea what karma is actually.
I mean, that's the essence of it.
Yeah.
It goes around, comes around.
But then what's the other stuff I hear spiritual people say, like karma is something
Well,
else?
it's usually based on rebirth, reincarnation,
Yeah.
that you develop, you know, you clear your karma over countless lives.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that.
Reaching to freedom.
Clear your karma.
And all your negative acts accrue negative karma, your positive acts
Yeah.
accrue merit towards freedom.
God, that stuff, I can't even do that. No. That's way too much.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Bad acts
Yeah.
have bad results.
Yeah.
I carry it with me. I've got to clear my karma.
Body scans negating. Body scan. What are body scans? You know about that?
You using your attention to scan your body, to feel it.
Oh, I think I.
Feel the sensations.
I remember that. I think I did that
from head to toe
one time.
or whatever.
And negating. Oh, negating. I remember I did that one time too. I'm not this.
Netty,
not
netty.
the netty.
Not this, not
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's, I mean, what seems to happen there is me kind of sees like, oh, there is no me, but that's still somebody realizing or getting that there is no self. That's not what we're talking about. I know it is an egoless state, but how did you attain it? See, what's being spoken about, it's absolutely cannot be attained. It's not an attainment. It's the end of the attainer. It's the end of having. It's the end of the ground. It's I know it's not to be reached, for it's something we are already. It's already the case. And there's no we. It's just already. Like what's happening there is exactly what's longed for, is exactly what's looked for. Not by me, but it's just breathing, it's seeing, it's the thought of how did you attain it? That is what's looked for. That is nothing appearing as a thought of how did you attain it? And what's being said here is there is no attainment. That thought, it's nothing appearing as a thought. You can't get behind it to know it. You can't get it. Nothing's had. That's what's being illuminated. You can't have it. Having is a dream. It's a dream of knowing. It's a dream of ownership. Nothing can be had. It's over already. You're already dead. Oh, shit.
Then why can't I feel it? Why do I seem to be trapped in this prison of me?
Me is imprisonment. It's the sense of imprisonment. Saeed.
It's freedom saying I'm trapped in a prison.
Yeah.
of me.
Freedom. It's freedom saying I'm trapped.
Claiming to be trapped.
Yeah. Having the experience of being trapped. That is freedom.
It's not a very nice, enjoyable freedom.
So
it's
nice
a cruel freedom. Very cruel.
Yeah, it's not easy. When that's happening, it's not a fun experience for a lot, or for some. Saeed, so nice to see you on Zoom again. You too, brother. Always good to see you. But how did you? So I'm reading, the questions about how did you attain it, so it's continuing.
Yeah.
What can't be understood by that energy of when there's an energy of separation and it's felt to be in the skin, being here, a position, I'm here, it automatically projects that there's on the screen that there's somebody else there, and now that body there has what he's talking about. He must have attained it because there's an energy of knowing or having and being real, so it projects to the speaker that he must have got it, or else how is he talking about it?
Yeah, why can you speak about it and I can't?
It's just words seeming to be coming out. It's the end of the energy of separation. It's not attained. There is no two. What's happening is all of it. It's wholeness. It's all of it. There is no two. It can't be attained. It's already. It can't be attained.
How did you realize that?
It's an unrealization. It's the ending of the realizer. It's death. Me doesn't want this. Me wants to be on a path to attain and get and reach that, like we were talking about earlier, the final, now I got it. And it wants to tell people about it. That doesn't happen. That's a dream. That's a story. It's a story of attainment. Hi, Sabi. This everything appearing cannot be talked about or described. Exactly. It can't. How do you describe what's happening? It's, in a sense, it makes it seem special when it said it can't be talked about or described. But it's so simple, stunningly simple. How can you describe what's happening? There's no distance to talk about it, but somehow these words come out.
Yeah.
I know all this, but how did you?
That's beautiful.
Zabi died. That's not an attainment. So you are not speaking of the process, just explaining the state. So it's also not a state. Like me lives in states, and there is no process. Process requires time. This is all of it. It's not going anywhere. It's not on a timeline. There's no linear progression. This is all of it. The sense that it's not all of it is all of it. There's no two. There's no other. I understand the state. You are just repeating what's already known. Why not explain to people how to be it? It's not known. We're talking about the end of knowing, the end of the knower. The end of my life.
How can you get to what you already are?
It's already. This is not a teaching. I can't tell you how to breathe, how to see. That's what's being talked about. Just what is. Seeing, breathing, hearing.
No prescription.
No prescription, no advice.
No
This
process.
is wholeness, no process.
No practice.
No practice. This is what's longed for, what's happening. Seeking for it pushes it somewhere else, seemingly. In a dream experience, that it says that it's somewhere else. Once I get it, once I know it, once I listen enough, once I understand, what's being talked about is not in understanding. It is the understanding, and it's not understanding. You will never get it. I don't get it. I never got it. It doesn't happen. It's the end of the knower. The end of this being real, exclusively real. That's not a getting, that's not attaining. It's what's already happening. But what might be happening there is an illusory overlay that says, I'm here and I'm listening. That is a dream. No one's listening already. No one's listening already. That's what's being illuminated. That's not a process. It's already. This is the worst thing the person can hear. There's absolutely nothing for it here. Some bodies just go, turn it off, and that doesn't matter. That's fine.
That's why this room is so crowded.
Right?
There's so many people
But for
here
some, it resonates.
clamoring to hear this message.
And the resonating has nothing to do with you. And that's what's being spoken about, is the resonance. That is this.
It's like this message can't be heard until it's heard.
Oneness or noneness. Oh my God, Zabi, I remember speaking with you. Oh, shoot, I think I know who you are. You're that girl. You used to speak too. Forgot your name. I know your name. You had a YouTube channel for a while, I think. Rohan, yeah. There you go.
I remember that name.
Rohan?
It's from videos.
Yeah, from video.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, yeah.
England? From UK?
I think so. I'm not sure. She has an accent, but I forgot where she was from. Probably, yeah. I think. Oh, she deleted her social media.
Mm-hmm.
You're famous, bro.
You notice how a lot of young speakers come out for a while, for a few months, and they just disappear?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a lot of them have. A lot of them had to completely delete social media because of maybe a job or their families being negative about the message.
So here it says, dude knows exactly what I'm speaking of, and he just wants to laugh and to hold a position over others. There is no position, there is no others. I don't know anything. There's no knowing here. Knowing's a dream. And I'm not telling you anything. There's no claim of anything. There's nothing had here. There's absolutely nothing being said. There is nothing on offer. Hi, Zabi. When speakers refer to seeking, does it mean a movement from what is? Yes, seeking can be like a movement, like a charge, like wanting to get a need, something else. I mean, seeking, I guess. But that is what is, too. Seeking is what is. Yeah, UK. Yes, upload soon. That'll be good. Catherine, hi Catherine. Why answer everyone else and not what you know I'm implying? Well, there is no, because your question was, how did you attain? That just lose it. That's just lose it. Like there's no attaining. There's nothing attained. So there's no answer to that. And that was, in a sense, my answer. There's nothing to attain. There's nothing had. That the seeker is a dream. That's what can't be heard by that energy. What's being said is that there's no one already. There's no one behind the eyes already. That's it. It's done. The floor, the ground is cut off. There's nothing for that energy. I have nothing else to say to that. How did you release yourself of the ego? What became obvious that there was never a self. It never happened. That whole story is a dream. That timeline. It never happened. It's not happening. And no one released themselves of the ego. That's just the dream of duality. That is the dream. If being an ego, being a self, getting rid of a self, being a no self, that is a dream. That is wholeness, dreaming. It's not wrong. When it's said it's a dream, the seeker might feel like, oh, so he's saying that it's a dream, so now I have to see it as a dream. That is the dream. Oh, nice, Rohan. Yeah, it's kind of funny how it plays out that way, huh? Like it just goes back to no, quote unquote normal life. Yeah.
Total ordinariness.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a story, it's bullshit, but it kind of seemed to go full circle in a way. Bullshit, but yeah. What does not happening mean? When nothing's happening, can you explain that, please? Yeah. The person seems, it lives in the real. Like it's just real. Like there's a centered when I'm here, and then there's things happening. It has this imagined bubble reality that it lives in, and it's solid, and it's all these things happening that I gotta think about and deal with and work with, and they're either good or bad or right or wrong, and it's happening all the time. That's a dream. But when you can't explain what do you mean by it's not happening, but it's that ending of that whole construct, that whole sense of linear timeline, and it just, that collapses. And what's left is just what's appearing. So immediacy is nothing happening. Immediacy is just what's seen, what's heard, just simplicity. And things, see, it's, we're gonna get in the paradox with words. We can't really, because things still seem to happen. We can talk about the starting of this meeting. We can talk about we were outside. You came out, you met me.
Before the meeting.
Yeah, but that's nothing happening. That's this appearing as a conversation about us meeting outside. It's you can't get it. I don't get it. It's just the solidity is just sucked out of everything.
The realness, huh?
The realness.
Solidness.
Yeah. It's not happening in the way me thinks it's happening, but it seems to happen.
Okay, 2 more minutes.
Yeah, 2 more minutes. All right. Come back.
You want to say concluding?
Yeah, I'm gonna read the last few comments and then. Yes, do it, Rohan, do it. Shit. When you say unknowing, do you mean that nothing can be known? Yeah, nothing can be known. Like there's knowing of whether we are alive or dead. That the knower, the knower is the dream, the centered position, that sense that there is me knowing, that base foundation is just not there. That's an illusion. It's impossible for things to be known, but there's apparent knowing.
Otherwise, nothing would function.
Yeah. Are you uploading this live? Oh, yep. I think last time when I just logged off, it automatically uploaded. It might take a little bit.
Any last words? We're gonna have to close out.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's no demand. Life does not demand anything from you. There's no need to become. And that sense of demand and that sense of becoming, that is this. That is love. Unconditional love. Loving what you don't like. This is wholeness. This is perfection. Even the sense that it isn't is. Nothing needs to happen. It's free already. Thank you.
Thank you, Zavi.
Thank you. Thank you, Rohan. You too. Richard says hi.
Richard?
Yeah.
Hey, Richard.
All right, guys. Of course. Dan. Have a good one. Last time I just exited, right? And then it does it. All right, cool. Mic drop.